Your pet's walking in on you, changing clothes.
You're just like, doing all kinds of weird stuff. And it's the honeymoon the whole time.
Oh, man.
I can just see him walking home and they're all just sitting on his couch. And he's like, who the hell are y'all? We know each other very well, John. I've been building your confidence for the last couple of years. Banana suit. And you're like, what? That's horrible.
Just imagining someone in a banana suit lying underneath the bed. That just felt so creepy.
That is creepy. And it's been doing that for months. That would like blow your mind. Like,
wait, wasn't it 4 years?
Years. Like they were there when you brought your child home. They were doing this thing, right? They were like,
that's all these life events of you.
All these life events. That would be horrible. That would be so horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I believe it, man.
You've got to.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Absolutely can happen.
Not just sauteed bananas are just a dime size of, I don't know. I feel like that's a real recipe. I really felt like that's a real thing you saw somewhere.
Especially with the cinnamon.
Yeah, with the cinnamon, it felt like a recipe.
I don't know where it came from. I just started putting together things I thought would be tasty to a monkey.
It sounds pretty good.
You've
been living there for years. You're getting bananas at a high level. You're not just getting banana peels anymore.
Sorry, I only eat bananas, Foster.
Yeah. But no, that's crazy. Deceit. I'm reading this book called The 12 Rules of Life. In the chapter I'm actually reading, or audiobook, they were talking, it was called Do Not Lie, or at least tell it said tell the truth, or at least do not lie, essentially was the name of the chapter. Mm-hmm. And the point of the chapter was saying how deceit is like at the crux of like all forms of corruption and evil almost, right? Like, and how a lie can almost be a form of like magic where you're creating a whole different reality for somebody until that thing is shattered and broken. And the guy was going through all these different like times in history where these little white lies and these little deceitful things that will continue to happen snowballed so bad that people couldn't really figure out where like the true level of like what was real and what was not, at least in how to deal with each other. And then of course those cultures end up going into horrible states. And it made me think about that, like why that would have been devastating, like for an animal, for something like for that kind of reveal. And it's because this reality you have is now no more, right? And it's like, and then you don't know even how far back that reality was fake. So now you're put in this weird state of, you don't know what to believe anymore, right? You don't know, you start questioning your own grandmother, right? Like grandma pulling her face and stuff, it's just a mask, grandma. It's just my skin, and that chapter I thought they did a great job because, I have children, right? So I always go like, what's the best way to teach somebody like why not to be deceitful? And for me, and I don't like always sharing if you do it this way, if you don't do this because something bad will happen. I would prefer to say the reason why we want to do it the right way is because it does all of these great things. Mm-hmm. And that chapter actually really gave me a really nice glimpse of like why deceit is, why being honest is like investing in the moment so that the future will be a better place for people, right? And I was like, wow, that just blew my mind. And that scene made me think about that chapter. So shout out to 12 Rules of Life.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. But check the book out. It's a deep, heavy book. It's like painful to go through. Every chapter, you just start, reassessing yourself and you're like, oh, why am I reading this chapter? But those things for me made me kind of like understand a lot better how to like move and treat people. Yeah.
was about to say something. I forgot.
Yeah.
Until you shouted out the book. Okay. It'll come back to me. Having one of those moments. I think I was thinking about something like there's only like you can only live with so many lies. Like you know, you can only like you can take a few lies, right? But if everything's a lie, that's like it makes you that deals with your psychology. That's just too much. Like a few, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna navigate these pitfalls. But in general, everything else is good. But it's just these few things. But just everything being a lie, that's too much.
I mean, how could you keep track of it? You know,
Right.
if you're telling different things to different people, and suddenly you forget what you've said to someone, then you know, I mean, no one wants to be busted in a lie, but I mean, that's the worst feeling when that happens. You know, especially if it's someone that you really care about, and you know, you can justify it sometimes in your own mind by thinking, okay, well, you know, if they never find this out, they're not going to get hurt, but they almost always find out, and it makes it so much worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think truth has so much freedom to it, right? You tell the truth, you're not worried about nothing. I think even if you tell the truth about the worst possible thing, and let's say you're in jail for it or whatever, at least you know you told the truth, and whatever you're feeling or thinking about is really based on what's true, and you can honestly embrace that. Whereas, you know, if you have that line, you just live on that line, you cling to that line, you don't let go, everything you feel is an attack. Everything is like, you know, there's no freedom in it. You just I have that sensation of just being trapped.
It's like you're waiting on somebody to figure you out. So you're extremely defensive versus being honest. You kind of standing on your own, you know, righteousness. It's like I said in the book, they made a great argument about it. How even in the face of worst case scenarios, it's still better to be truthful. But I always find it difficult because groups of people operate in their own like little way where people can even in a bureaucratic sense, like cover up falsehoods because it's just maybe too minor compared to what everything is supposed to be standing for. And I've always felt a little like, at least for me as a child growing up, that always saddened me that almost in every like place I could find something that's being covered up. And it makes you feel like, is there really ever anything that could be truly righteous, right? Without some form of corruption or some form of greed or some form of like hidden agenda. And I'm sure somebody would argue and say, yeah, there is. But I've yet to find one organization that's like juggling both growing and doing these great things, but also has this pocket of gray area they operate in to make those things work, right? Like that. And I always ask myself, like, is it, obviously it's an individual problem if there's a lie, but also how much of the system or the culture or the organization is creating that falsehood as well, you know?
Well, and how much of that is lying to yourself as well? You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, if your ego gets involved, then you know you may be convinced that one thing is true when it's not. And you know, being in situations like that, and I've worked in city government and state government, and you know, you have people that get they get kind of complacent because you know they are such secure jobs. And you know, but it's also one of those things where you feel, and I mean, I've felt this before too. We've talked about this before. How sometimes there are projects that you feel like very territorial about, and you're like, this is my thing. I don't know how to turn it over. And I remember seeing a lot of that in government positions too. So you know, I kind of feel like that ego part of it is important too.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that.
We cut to an office birthday party, Okay, guys. Can everyone stop eating cake for a second? I have an announcement.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So this is hard for me to admit, but as you know, today is John's birthday party, and he brought a cake, and I said it was my birthday party too, and we've kind of been, we blew out the candles together and everything, and we made a wish together, and it's not really my birthday. I just wanted to feel included in the festivities, and that was the only one I could think of was to pretend it was my birthday too.
Okay. So the presents that we chipped in on, we ended up buying you at really expensive watch. Do you still expect for us to give you that?
Well, I mean, since it's already done, maybe just don't get me another one next year. Might be the thing. Or get me another one on my real birthday, which is in 3 months.
Oh, your birthday's in 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
I know I chipped in, but you also got me to trade my vacation week with you because you said this was your birthday week and you were going to be out every day until today, the day of the party. And I had tickets to the very last showing of Cats on Broadway. It's never coming back again, ever. And everybody put pressure on me and said, it's Amichi's birthday. You can't do that. Let him celebrate his birthday. And I switched with you.
Yeah. Hey, you did. Thank you. I was just kind of at home.
You did a staycation? You didn't even go anywhere?
No, I did. It's because it's over my birthday. I wouldn't go anywhere.
Not cool, Amici.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. But there's a Cats movie. You can watch the movie. I heard it was terrible, but something. But you could still get the same kind of experience.
Not cool.
Okay.
Well, Amici, of course, I share with you today that I've never had a birthday party. I've never had one celebrated for me. And when you told me that your birthday was also today, it made me happy that maybe you as well shared those same issues as I do. I'm a little upset, man.
Included, Yeah.
I know you want to. I know you want to feel included, but all of the birthday cash that was being passed around, you realize half of that went to you.
Yeah.
We collected over $1,000.
Yeah. Thanks, I guess.
No. John's an orphan. Okay, John never had anything growing up. He's saved. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
John's also a single dad.
Yes. He could use that money way more than you.
I'm a single grandfather as well.
You are?
Yes.
Wow.
If you were a good coworker, you would know this, Amici. Come on.
I got a lot of stuff I gotta do, Amici. You took money out of my grandkids' mouths, my kids' mouths. It's just me. It's always been just me, Amici. It's always
I'm a single dad too.
You're a single dad?
You have kids?
We've never heard you had any children.
You never mentioned anything about that.
Yeah, I like to keep my work and personal life separate.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about the 5 cats? The 5 cats that you have pictures of on your desk? Are those your kids?
Come on.
Yeah, those are my kids.
Amici! What is wrong with you?
I wanted to feel included. You guys were putting the focus on John again, and I didn't like it. I felt uncomfortable.
One day. It's not like we dedicated the year to John. It's just one day.
It's just one day. It's only for like 30 minutes out of our day.
You're coming up in 3 weeks. You couldn't wait.
I know. I'm sorry. I get really impatient. You know, if people aren't talking about me, then I don't know. I feel weird. I feel icky. So, you know, I do things to get the attention back on me.
That's not good, Amici. That's a slippery slope, dude.
John, I want to double check something with you. It seems like I remember a conversation at lunch probably about 2 weeks ago where you said that you were allergic to strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
Amici, didn't you insist that we have strawberries in this cake?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, they're my favorite fruit. So
John's not even getting to eat his own cake.
Can't even eat the cake, man.
Are you sure? Can you even be? Look at his throat. Is your throat closing down? Are you? Oh my god! We gotta take him to. We gotta call 911 Amici. For real. We gotta get the ambulance here. You may need.
Well, my throat was a little sore as well.
And see. We've all met those individuals in our life.
Two things, but a single grandfather, no son. I'm walking off.
I'm a single grandfather too.
Nobody ever cares about that. It's like, where's your grandmother? No, nobody ever cares about the grandparents' status.
True.
A single grandmother means nada. Unless she's the only person taking care of those kids. That's insane. A single you gotta do all the grandparent duties by yourself.
That's crazy.